In the realm of science fiction, we often imagine worlds populated by colossal life forms, beings that dwarf our human scale and challenge our perception of what is possible. Yet here on our own planet, such giants exist. They are not creatures of fantasy but living, breathing organisms of immense scale and antiquity. I am speaking, of course, of the giant sequoias. These are trees that defy belief, standing as silent, steadfast sentinels on the western slopes of California's Sierra Nevada mountains. To stand at the foot of one is to feel a profound sense of humility, a connection to a timescale far greater than our own fleeting lives. They are true wonders of the natural world. The sheer size of a giant sequoia is almost impossible to comprehend without seeing it firsthand. While they are not the absolute tallest trees on Earth, that title belongs to their relatives, the coast redwoods. They are the largest by sheer volume. Their trunks are monumental columns of reddish-brown bark, swelling to diameters so vast that it would take more than a dozen people holding hands to encircle one. The most massive of them all, a tree known as the General Sherman, weighs an estimated 2,000 tons. This is the equivalent of nearly 400 elephants combined into a single living entity that continues to grow, adding more wood each year than is found in an entire smaller tree. This incredible mass is supported by a surprisingly shallow root system, which spreads out wide rather than deep to anchor the colossal trunk. The tree's crown can soar to heights of over 90 meters, or nearly 300 feet, reaching into the sky like a natural skyscraper. Imagine stacking 3 blue whales, the largest animals on Earth, end to end, and you begin to get a sense of the vertical scale of these giants. Their branches, some of which are thicker than the trunks of ordinary trees, begin high up on the main stem, creating a majestic, cathedral-like canopy far above the forest floor. It is a world unto itself. Historically, these magnificent forests were much more widespread. During the last ice age, giant sequoias could be found across vast swaths of North America, and even parts of Europe. As glaciers advanced and retreated, the climate changed dramatically, and their range shrank considerably. Today, these ancient trees are confined to just 81 distinct groves, scattered along a narrow, 260-mile band in California. This limited habitat makes them particularly vulnerable, a precious and finite remnant of a bygone era. They are a living link to a prehistoric world, a glimpse into the deep history of our planet's flora. The lifespan of a giant sequoia is as staggering as its size. These trees are among the oldest living things on planet Earth, capable of surviving for more than 3,000 years. To put this into perspective, some of the mature sequoias standing today were already sturdy saplings when the Great Pyramids of Egypt were being constructed. They have witnessed the rise and fall of countless empires, the dawn of new civilizations, and the entirety of recorded human history unfolding around them. They are living chronicles of time, their rings holding a silent record of droughts, fires, and changing seasons across thousands of years. This longevity is a testament to their remarkable resilience and adaptation. Their long life is owed in part to their unique biology. The bark of a giant sequoia can grow up to 3 feet thick, providing an incredibly effective shield against pests, disease, and most importantly, fire. This fibrous, reddish-brown armor is rich in tannins and contains very little flammable resin, making it highly resistant to burning. While other trees in the forest might be consumed by flames, the sequoia can often withstand the heat, suffering only superficial scars that heal over time. This protective layer is crucial for its survival in a landscape that is periodically swept by fire, allowing it to outlive nearly every other species around it. Only one tree species is known to consistently live longer than the giant sequoia, the Great Basin bristlecone pine. These gnarled, hardy trees, found in the high, arid mountains of the American West, can reach ages approaching 5,000 years. The oldest known individual, named Methuselah, is a living relic whose precise location is kept secret for its own protection. While the bristlecone pine achieves its age through slow, tenacious growth in a harsh environment, the sequoia achieves it through sheer strength and dominance, growing into an indomitable giant that stands firm against the ravages of time and the forces of nature. The specific conditions required for a sequoia to thrive are quite particular. They are, in a sense, rather needy trees despite their hardy nature. They prefer the humid climate found at mountain altitudes between 1,000 and 2,000 meters, where they can draw upon the significant amounts of water they need to sustain their massive bulk. They grow best in nutrient-rich soil, often near streams or in depressions where moisture collects. This dependence on a very specific set of environmental factors is another reason why their natural habitat is so restricted today, confined to the unique ecosystem of the Sierra Nevada's western face. One of the most fascinating aspects of the giant sequoia's life cycle is its intricate and vital relationship with fire. For millennia, we have viewed forest fires as purely destructive events, something to be fought and suppressed at all costs. However, for the sequoia, low-intensity fires are not a threat, they are an essential partner in regeneration. The trees have evolved not just to survive fire, but to depend on it for their very continuation as a species. This seemingly paradoxical relationship is a beautiful example of nature's complex and interconnected web of life, where what appears to be destruction is actually a critical part of creation. The thick, fire-resistant bark protects the mature trees, but the fire performs several crucial tasks for the next generation. Firstly, it clears away the underbrush and smaller competing trees like pines and firs. This thinning of the forest canopy allows sunlight to reach the forest floor, a vital ingredient for the growth of young sequoia seedlings. Without fire, the forest would become too dense and shady for the sun-loving seedlings to survive. The fire essentially tidies the house, creating the open, park-like conditions that are characteristic of a healthy sequoia grove and giving the young giants a fighting chance. Secondly, the heat from a forest fire helps the sequoia cones to open and release their seeds. A single mature tree can hold thousands of cones, each containing hundreds of tiny seeds. These cones can remain green and closed on the tree for up to 20 years, waiting for the perfect moment. When a fire passes through, the rising hot air dries out the cones, causing them to open and shower the ground below with a cascade of seeds. This perfectly timed release ensures that the seeds fall onto a landscape that has been freshly prepared for them. The final gift of the fire is the ash bed it leaves behind. This layer of ash creates the ideal seed bed. It is rich in nutrients and free of the fungi and bacteria that can harm young seedlings. The seeds land on this perfectly fertilized and sterilized ground just as the sunlight begins to stream through the newly opened canopy. In this way, the fire acts as a catalyst, clearing the way, triggering the seed release, and preparing the soil all at once. It is a powerful and elegant cycle of renewal, one that has allowed these groves to perpetuate themselves for thousands of years. The giant sequoia, or Sequoiadendron giganteum, is part of a celebrated family known as the redwoods, which also includes the coast redwood and the dawn redwood. The name sequoia is believed to honor Sequoia, the brilliant Cherokee scholar who created a written language for his people. The coast redwood found along the Pacific coast is the world's tallest tree, slender and elegant compared to its bulky cousin. The dawn redwood, once thought to be extinct and known only from fossils, was rediscovered in China in the 1940s. Together, these three species are living fossils, remnants of an ancient lineage that has graced our planet for millions of years. Despite their strength and longevity, giant sequoias are now considered an endangered species. When European settlers arrived in California, the sheer size of the trees made them a target for logging. Although their wood is surprisingly brittle and not ideal for construction, many of these ancient giants were felled in the 19th and early 20th centuries. The shocking sight of these majestic beings being destroyed sparked one of the earliest conservation movements in the United States. Public outcry led to the protection of most of the remaining groves, saving them from the axe and saw for future generations to marvel at. Today, however, new threats have emerged. A century of fire suppression has disrupted their natural life cycle, leading to overgrown forests filled with fuel, which can now produce fires of such intense heat that even the thick-barked sequoias cannot survive them. Furthermore, a changing climate is bringing warmer temperatures and more severe droughts, placing immense stress on these water-loving trees. We are now in a race against time, using prescribed burns to restore the natural fire cycle, and studying the impacts of climate change to find ways to help these giants adapt to a rapidly changing world. The future of the giant sequoias rests firmly in our hands. These are not just trees, they are monuments of the natural world, living symbols of endurance, strength, and the profound, slow passage of geological time. Protecting them is a responsibility we owe not only to ourselves but to the planet. To walk among them is to be reminded of the magnificent power and beauty of nature, and of the urgent need to act as its careful and considerate stewards. Their silent, towering presence is a call to action, a reminder of what we stand to lose if we fail.